Hi, I'm Lanchi Venator, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to serve Cow's shareholders and work with Cow's leadership team to rethink their financial framework and to really infuse more ambition into their growth algorithm. My background spans multiple industries and functions. I've had about 25 years in consumer products and then about 15 years in beauty specifically. I've mostly worked with large global companies, much like How, with operations in multiple countries, with brands that maybe originated not from the home country and has been exported to different areas. I've had the opportunity to work in Asia, in the US, in Europe as well. I've also had the opportunity to work in marketing, in sales, in finance, and that's really my expertise now. It's finance and strategy. I've worked in regions where you really need to see how the commercial plans come together. You're much closer to the consumer. You're driving those day-to-day sales and those day-to-day metrics. And then in the last, I would say 10 years, I have worked in corporate where, instead of just seeing how the commercial plans come together and executing on it, but I'm really building those commercial plans and setting, big targets, setting ambitions for the region so that they can then execute it and just making sure that you know what works and what doesn't work. I've had wonderful opportunities to work with brands and help grow them. I would say one example is when I joined Estee Lauder Companies, my remit was to build this capability called strategic pricing. And pricing is very important to any manufacturer. It's because it's the way we communicate with consumers, right? How do we make that pricing, that value to price component resonate with the consumers? And it's also important for companies to have these pricing strategies is because it's a way for us to recapture the value that we create for the consumers and bring back the investment in terms of dollars so that we can then um, it's that perfect cycle of putting out the investment and bringing it back and then rebuilding and elevating the brand. When I was there, I brought in the infrastructure, the tech stack, built the team, and put in the process that eventually over the years contributed to about a third of Lauder's profit. Um, so every year, I would say we grew the brand without doing anything and just being strategic about the way we price. You can grow the brand between 2 to 4% each year. And then when I say brand, I mean the whole portfolio of brands in that company. And most recently, I worked with KFC, and my job as the global CFO, looking over 14 business units, was to drive growth. And when I joined them, it was a $31 billion system sales company. When I left, it was $34 billion. And we did it by making sure that we unlocked any growth potential with our franchisees. I was responsible working with the commercial team to problem solve, to remove barriers, to build, complex incentive programs so that we can continue to build stores, because that's a huge pillar of growth, more stores, a wider footprint, and then at the same time working with the marketers and the operations team to make sure that they're adequately invested, because same store sales is also a key health indicator for a company. So I was lucky to have both opportunities with KFC and with Estee Lauder brands in two very different industries, but with the same growth results. I think I can help Cow do better just, leveraging the background that I have first on the financial framework side, building more ambitious goals, ambitious, aspirational, but achievable. And it does really start with that, right? How do we think about growing faster than our competitors? How do we think about growing faster than the market? So they're always gaining share. Now, I know not every brand, I mean, here's the key. Not every brand is going to be growing, at the same rate. And so it's that surgical, strategic look at it, which I have experienced. When I joined Lauder, we were at $10 billion. By the time I left, we were at 18. And I saw that company grow between 10 and $18 billion, what it took to grow, what the transformation initiatives were, and what infrastructure that needed to be in place to hold up that growth. given the diverse portfolio that Cow has, there are a few different competitors from the, from their day to day, the soap business, the personal care business. It's more likely to be Unilever, to be P&G, from a prestige brands that they've built and acquired, like a Molton Brown, or even Kanebo and Uribe. Those are more like the Estee Lauder companies. There are a few brands in the L'Oreal portfolio that would compete directly with Cow. So a great, and the good news, I think, is because the portfolio is so wide that they do have a wide range of competition. And so the runway is wider, if you will. And I think that's where the potential comes in to be the big global leader that they can be. I think Cow has a lot of opportunities. They have a range of products and brands that have various strengths. There are markets that I've seen where Cow is underrepresented in terms of shelf space, in terms of marketing voice. I've looked at their portfolio slightly. I mean, just what I can see from a public disclosure standpoint is that they can probably optimize their capital structure to make sure that they're investing in the right brands. So just their financial framework, I did see the guidance that Cow sent out recently, and I do think that they have an opportunity to be a little more ambitious in the numbers that they want to reach, to grow ahead of market, to maybe even prune their portfolio so that they can really retrench their capital investment and then allocate it in the best growing brands and regions. I actually was introduced to Oasis by a third party firm, and they had reached out to me asking me if I was interested in meeting an active investor who was very focused on, helping companies across, well, specifically in Japan, to unleash their potential and to really become the global leader. And when I found out who it was, of course, I was very excited. I mean, Cow is an admirable company. I know the brands from growing up in Asia and living in Japan. And so I immediately said yes. But other than being the introduction, I had not met Oasis before.